Welcome everyone to the Gameweek 25 episode with myself, Aidan. Joined with me by the regulars, Patrick, Killian, and Darren. How are you getting on, lads?
You
all good?
Good here.
Good.
Here.
A lot to discuss, a lot to ponder going into this week. We have a lot of teams blanking, but then we also have a lot of teams doubling. So a lot of exciting games coming our way. Hopefully, with a few breaking that 100-point barrier that I've been aiming for so well. But let's just get straight into it with the teams and how we all got on in game week 24. A few disappointed heads, I'd say, but also a few kind of lucky to get away with a small green arrow like myself. So we'll start off with you, Patrick. How did you get on?
Yeah, pretty mixed, to be honest. I think I've got 3 players that have returned out of a possible 11. So, not great. But the players that did return were Odegaard, who got 8, and Kane, who got 5, only the assist, and Rashford got 15, but I had him captained, so that literally got me out of jail. Everyone else blanked. Bit of a shit show.
Rashford really helped, didn't he?
Yeah. And I'm glad I did. This was a good week, obviously, to go against Haaland. In hindsight, but I really needed to do something like that to try and gain some rank, and it's a good thing I did. Otherwise, I would have been in the doghouse.
Do you know what? I appreciate that, Patrick. Mixing it up and doing what other people don't do. That's how you get ahead in this game, you know?
It's definitely a risk. Like, it's could have gone horribly wrong from what I hear. I didn't watch the City game, but Haaland could have had a hat-trick, I'm told.
He missed
he
missed 2 sitters in a row as well. He hit the keep. I think he hit the bar and then skied it. So it's such fine margins.
Yeah, I transferred out Shaw this week as well, lads. I transferred out Shaw and he got 7 points, which is annoying.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to kind of have a view to the future game weeks as well, don't you?
I did. I need to get him out.
Have to get Shaw out anyway. So.
I did. I got Badiashile in for his Southampton game, and he ended up blanking. I was almost certain he was going to get a clean sheet in that one, but it was a lovely free kick, I think, that done them in the end.
Chelsea, the magic of James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah. Should have known.
Brilliant. To be fair, 57, I think that's just about a green arrow, I think, is it?
It is. Probably it went up maybe 100,000 places, actually.
Well, so that's perfect, yeah.
So
any green arrow is a good arrow. So
I think I'm about 1.1 million around there. So still need to break into that top 1 million.
Plenty of. Well, if there's any time to do it, it's the next couple of weeks anyway. So, moving on. Anyways, we have Killian, your team. No idea what I'm at.
No idea what I'm at. Clearly, this week I did. I of course my pick of the week last week was Shamie Coleman, and as the name would suggest, he came out with a fiery pick. You know, got a wee goal going. I was crying, laughing, to be honest.
Hey, it's a great pick. We all laughed last week when you did it.
But I paid off in the end up. Now, when you look at the rest of the team, there was crying, but not from laughing. Shaw, Saka, and Rashford, the only other players returning for me. I had the captain on Haaland, unfortunately. Well, I had the captain on Mahrez, and then Pep was like, "No, Mahrez, you take a break today."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Damn you, Pep, you swear word." And so,
beep.
Yeah. But overall, 55. When I look at everybody else, I kind of felt like it's a bit of a bad game week now. But when I looked at everyone else in hindsight, I wasn't that far away from the top and the bottom. Okay. But to be honest, all right. Again, captain on Rashford was a good choice this week from Gribben. I was in 2 minds about captain and Coleman myself now.
Should have.
You should have. Imagine if you did.
Would have been a laugh. But I was just noticing there. This is the first week Trippier has got less than 2 points since game week number 5.
It's crazy, isn't
it? It's mad.
You'd be mad to get rid of him, wouldn't you?
That's it. But overall, I'm all right with it, to be honest. Could have went better, could have went worse. So
yeah, you're also nicely set up with a lot of double game week players. Excuse me. We have Arsenal, obviously, and then Neves and Coleman to double. So very nicely set up. I appreciate the time and effort you're putting into this planning, rather than the Killian of yesteryear would have been taking a -40 by this time.
Yeah,
but no, fair play.
I'm happy enough with my team now this week. I have 7 double players, so
brilliant.
I'm hoping for
looking good.
Happy days. Another green arrow coming your way, hopefully. Then so.
Well,
anyways, we'll move on past Killian and we'll start on Darren here. 54 points. We're all kind of in and around the same, lads.
Yeah, around the same. Wee green arrow as well. Surprisingly, I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, look, fell into the same trap as Killian did, but Mahrez actually brought him in 2 game weeks ago.
I'm partly to blame for that, I feel.
Yeah, sorry, actually, I brought him in last game week and I was all pleased with him. But look, Martinelli, Odegaard and Grealish kind of came up there with the goods. And really pleased with Grealish, actually, since I brought him in. And then obviously Rashford and Shaw and Harry Kane chipping in as well. So I didn't really have anyone apart from maybe Rashford and Odegaard that kind of, scored high points. And then everyone else, I mean, like everyone else's team, really just chipped in with 1 or 2 points. So, yeah, look, happy enough. Just really disappointed with the whole Mahrez thing, but... And maybe the captaincy of Haaland, but I think that's the way Haaland is. Sometimes he can go on a rampage 1 game week or 2 game weeks in a row, and then he just kind of settles down. So 54 points, so not too bad.
Were you talking on the pod last week, Darren, about captain and Rashford? You were in between.
Yeah, I was, and I just couldn't resist putting it on Haaland, considering they were playing Forest, and it actually backfired. Same. It just backfired because I didn't think, I suppose, in a way, Forest are actually doing a lot better in the last 3 fixtures they had. They're a lot better. They're more compact, I think, and they actually seem to have a bit of a plan going forward. So I was looking back, I just couldn't resist putting it on him, but sure, look.
Absolutely. You've got to target the weaker teams as well, and then a Leicester team who was kind of on the up as well. Could have easily been 2 goals up, could have been a different story, but anyways.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
Anyways, such is the magic of FPL. Anyways, we'll move on to my team anyways. Last and certainly least, I had the same as yourselves, lads, just a ton of blanks everywhere, really. Was quite lucky. I actually benched Ake for Martinelli this week. Just because I saw a lot on the kind of City forums that Ake wasn't going to start. Obviously getting a rest before the Champions League, so Martinelli came on for his goal. And my only sub last week was actually Tarkowski in. I was talking about on the pod last week about bringing in Craig Dawson, and I was just looking at Wolves' fixtures after these next couple of weeks, and they just didn't fill me with enough confidence.
Red light.
Well, that's it exactly. So the chip strategy that I'm planning for is kind of out the window if I pick Craig Dawson. So I took in Tarkowski, got himself a clean sheet and a few bonus, so that was lovely. And then just same as yourselves, lads, Captain Haaland, Shaw, Tarkowski, Rashford, and Salah with a wee assist, and then Saka and Martinelli obviously with goals. So a small green arrow. I think it took me from 26k to about 24k rank. So to be honest, any green arrow is a good arrow. Very lucky. I'm
liking the Salah aspect there, Aidan. It's probably a player that we all would love in our team right now with the double coming up.
Absolutely, I've actually had Salah since after the World Cup. I haven't left him. I was always tempted to move over to De Bruyne, but I knew that I would want to move back to Salah eventually, so just left it. But this double game week now coming is going to be very, very interesting to see what Salah does. I know a lot of people, might think of alternative moves to try and get to Salah, but lucky I don't have to take a hit for him or take a transfer for him anyway. So
your team looks in great shape now, Aidan. Like the Saka, Salah, they're all boys that people are gonna. I think they're the 2 top picks for captaincy this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big time. I think it's probably between a coin toss between Salah and Saka from what I see on. From what I see in kind of the FPL community anyway, but
or Seamus Coleman.
Seamus Coleman. I've seen worse shouts. I've seen worse. Anyways, that's all our teams. We're all kind of in and around the middle this week, but not the worst. The average was 44 this week, so green arrows all around, which is probably a first for us this year, to be honest, lads. So
Wow.
love to see it.
There you
Anyways,
go.
game week 25 fixtures, a very, very important game week in terms of how our seasons are going to pan out. We have blanks and we have doubles and everything in between. So, taking you through it anyways, Friday evening. So, we're going to have a 6:30 deadline. So, have that in your calendars ready to go. We have Fulham at home to Wolves. We then have Everton against Villa, Leeds at home to Southampton, Leicester and Arsenal, West Ham, Forest, Bournemouth, City, Palace, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea, which is going to be a tasty one Sunday. And then the double game week teams being Arsenal v Everton and Liverpool v Wolves. So, so obviously Arsenal, Everton, Liverpool, and Wolves doubling. Then you have teams like Brentford and Brighton who are blanking also. So, Man United and Newcastle as well in the mix. So, a lot to take in, really, lads. What are you aiming for? I know we have a lot of Newcastle United players in our teams. What are we aiming for with these 25 fixtures in mind?
Yeah, I think as we said before we started recording tonight, a lot of us have kind of planned that we're going to have maybe, a Rashford, a Trippier, or maybe a Shaw on our bench. So I think we're all kind of pretty well set up in that aspect.
Yeah.
The fixtures that I'm looking at is the Liverpool games. I know Liverpool are kind of a bit all over the place, but they are scoring goals again, even though they are conceding. But at the moment, I have no Liverpool players. It might be a transfer they might be doing this week. And I suppose the Arsenal fixtures are tasty too. Leicester completely fell apart once United scored their first goal the last day. So I'd imagine if Arsenal hit first against them, it'll be interesting. What do you think, Patrick?
Yes, that's Liverpool all the way for me. I know they got hammered by Real Madrid there a couple of days ago, but I'm targeting Liverpool players this week.
Who do you have? Do you have any Liverpool players at the moment, or are you thinking of bringing some in? Or is that for later?
That's for later. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. But anyways, in terms of pure FPL, we've got to be able to field 11 players this week, essentially. We've, whatever strategy you're using, I imagine the free hit 25 is probably not on many managers' minds, but in saying that, we're going to have to try and fill our bench essentially with the remainders of our Newcastle and United players. So, obviously your Trippiers, your Shaw, Rashford, those kind of lads. So, what fixtures would you be targeting, Killian, if you were to looking at these 25? Obviously, you have your double game week teams, but what would you be targeting mainly?
I mean, aside from the double games, right? I'd be looking at wee Willie Ganonto here coming up against Southampton.
Here we go again.
Here we go. Listen, he plays well. Okay, he doesn't get the goals all the time, but on the pitch he plays well. And against Southampton, I think it's as good a chance as any for him to sneak one in. But when it comes down to the doubles, I suppose a blind man would say I'm looking forward to Wolves games. Because Fulham might actually, there's a good chance of them coming out with a good bit there, and even maybe a clean sheet if you are going with your Dawson or your Kilman. Now, Liverpool is a different story. People are praying that they wet the bed with Liverpool and let Mr. Mo Salah come in with a cheeky little hat trick or something like that. But I mean, we've seen what happened 3 weeks ago, and there was none of that going on, So, I think the Wolves games might be a good chance for at least one game's worth of returns. And then, of course, if you have Shims Coleman, and you're already going to get 30 points anyway. So, but no, I think the Leeds game, if you're not following double, if you're not chasing doubles, we talked last week about chasing doubles and how maybe it's not the wisest thing to just go for a full team of double game week players. And if you aren't, I think Leeds might be the team to kind of go for there with regards to just being able to possibly sneak one in and get a cheeky goals worth of points. Yeah. But other than that, I think Wolves are the ones to possibly rake a few in.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I actually wanted to bring that up as well. Wolves beat Liverpool 3-0 a couple of weeks ago. I know people are loading up on Liverpool players, obviously, but would you load up on Liverpool defenders? Are you convinced of them? Like,
Haven't touched a Liverpool defender since game week 6. I had 2 of them, and they went out the door as quick as they came in because it did absolutely nothing.
Killian plays FPL very emotionally. He doesn't. He just holds grudges. Like,
listen,
Clearly.
I don't care if you're playing bad, but if you're a bad person, get out of here.
yeah.
Funny you bring that up, Ethan. I'm actually looking at Trent, and I know
so am I.
he's a defender. Do I think Liverpool are going to keep 2 clean sheets? I don't think so, but look, we all know what Trent is capable of doing when he's on his game. It's just the assists and the potential of maybe him getting a goal or something.
Yeah.
And the way I'm set up, I think it might be a Newcastle defender going out and maybe Trent coming in.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And you have the money in the bank for it anyways, because I think Trent's probably still free, so I'd imagine it'll probably be going up over the next couple of evenings. So keep an eye on your price rises if anyone's kind of tight for a couple of mil. But anyways, yeah, we'll move on and we'll have just a look at the graphic here that I wanted to go through. So Ben Crellin, obviously the GOAT for all the fixture planners and all this stuff, has just released this lovely graphic. So make sure to get onto Ben on Twitter and get that saved into your plannings. So obviously we have the game week 25 doubles and blanks, but just as a warning, I suppose, or a caveat, whoever you do plan to bring in this week, have a look at those fixtures and have a look to see who may blank or who may double in future. So great examples would be obviously Everton to target this week, the likes of Tarkowski, Coleman, maybe Dwight McNeil or Andre Gray, or not Andre Gray, but Damari Gray, because they also play Nottingham Forest, they play Brentford, but the main thing is that they don't blank in 28 or 29, so it's just a solid team to go for until you decide to wildcard. So just these fixture planners and everything is just so important to have in terms of your transfer planning. So, lads, with this in mind, Darren, what kind of, obviously we're looking at 25, but also what kind of teams spring to mind when you're looking at this and who to target?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. I mean, I actually have McNeil written here in my notes. For Everton, as you said, easy enough fixtures there after the double game week with Forest and Brentford, you would imagine. Looking at Traore as well for Wolves, but I think Killian mentioned it earlier. It's very easy to fall into a trap of just getting players for the sake of them having a double as well. And I think the safest option for me would be Trent, to be honest, even though Liverpool do play United and Bournemouth in 26 and 27. But I just feel like he might just give a little bit more. That's it for me, really. Patrick, who are you thinking?
Yeah, the Liverpool guys, it really does sort of comes down to when you want to play your wild card. I reckon I was of the opinion that a wild card in 27 might be a good strategy here, so that you can load up on players from Brentford and Brighton who have a double in 27 and a double in 29. Look at Brighton. Brighton's double in 27 is Leeds and Crystal Palace, and then their double in 29 is Brentford and Bournemouth. So really good fixtures there. They have got a blank in the middle of that, but it's a likely blank. It's not confirmed yet, but it's most likely going to be a blank there. So that could be a week to play your free hit. I think a lot of us are going to be playing our free hit in that week.
Yeah, fact.
So that it really sort of depends how my team looks come 26, 27. If I think that I'll be able to get a team out of the many teams is there? 8 teams play in game week 28. If I can get a team out of players in that, then maybe I want to save the free hit or save the wild card until later.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure.
Realistically, though, Patrick, I'm just looking at 28 here. Arsenal, obviously, we're all tripled. Aston Villa, nobody's going to own any of them. Bournemouth, none. Chelsea, maybe 1. Crystal Palace, none. Everton, maybe 1, maybe 2. Newcastle, if you plan on holding Trippier, maybe just him. So, like, I see it, but also I'd say the general consensus is probably going to lean towards free hit 28.
Well, they
But
do mention
in saying that, it is all just it is all preliminary for now, because obviously 28, couple of blanks yet to be announced. So we could get lucky.
there could be
and
some
it could
cup
completely turn around.
Yeah, it could be some cup upsets, which might mean that some of those fixtures are actually going ahead, and then it might turn out that we will have a full team we can put out in that. I'd say if you are planning on like doing a later wild card, then your transfers now should be focused on teams who we know for certain aren't blanking in 28. So you would want to get Everton players.
Good shout.
You'd want to get Chelsea players, Newcastle. You could get a good team out of those 3 teams alone.
Absolutely, yeah. I was actually kind of similar to mine as well. I was looking through using a fixture planner, and obviously, like with, I think it was Chelsea, Liverpool, probably be doubled up on Liverpool by then, doubled up on United, still have 1 Newcastle. So, like, it is possible to have a very, very good week 29 team with just free transfers. So, obviously, I'm always warning people about their strategies, but it is always good to look forward and not just to look at the 1 or 2 game weeks in front of us, but also just to kind of look beyond and have yourself set up nicely, because there's nothing better than being able to field a full team when everyone's free hitting, etc. So
absolutely,
definitely good to look forward to.
Just one more thing I want to mention, Aidan, on that.
Yeah, go on.
The Liverpool guys who we're all thinking of bringing in this week, look at their double game week in 29.
Yeah,
Man City and Chelsea.
It's not. You can't really class it as much of a double, can you?
No. Well,
in
saying that, it's
both teams. Both defenses haven't been delivering lately.
Yeah, I would agree with
Chelsea.
Nathan there.
So it's really much of a muchness. However way you want to look at it. If you want to look at Liverpool attackers, it looks pretty good. But if you want to look at defenders like Trent, Robertson, maybe not the week for scoring points. But
I think
just depends.
Those 3 games are going to consist of just goals. It's just going to be like a game of ping pong or something. They're just going to be firing them in.
Hopefully. It just could go either way, because we
hard to know sometimes.
You always see these big teams pulling out 0-0s and 1-1s because they don't want to lose too much ground on each other. Yeah. So it's really much of a muchness. But anyways, we have another graphic here. It's a very cool little Venn diagram we got off Reddit there. So this kind of puts into perspective the teams that will play in 28, but also double in 29. So feel free to screenshot it and use it. And it's just really good graphically, because obviously looking at these big Excel spreadsheets, it's hard to
take away picture that there.
But it's just really, really for you visual, for the people that like
aesthetically pleasing charts.
Of course, yes, of course, because sometimes those Excel spreadsheets are a bit hard to look at. Sometimes I know I look at them all. It's nice to get a bit of a better understanding. So obviously we have all these teams like United, Leicester, West Ham, Leeds, all with quite decent game week 29 ones. So that'll be the big kind of week to target, and the week that you'll start to see people pulling away, I suppose, after the free hit in 28.
Forest as well. I think we mentioned you mentioned Forest.
Yeah. Brennan Johnson, get him in.
Oh, I'm loving him. Yeah, that he's actually on the list
so good,
too,
isn't he?
Yeah, he's really just. I felt like he was kind of one of them players who was kind of threatening to do something good there in the last couple of weeks, but now he's actually producing, isn't he?
I actually suggested him a couple of weeks ago. I'd say about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and these were all like, yeah. I know he's.
Killian, I think you recommended him about 15 weeks ago. I don't know.
Yeah,
probably was. Yeah.
At that stage, he was getting the ball into his feet and he was falling over. Now he's getting the ball into his feet. He's turning with it and he's creating something with it. So
his laces aren't tied together anymore. He's able to run, like, you know.
Exactly.
As much as we give out about Forest as well, with the amount of made, a lot of them are actually extremely decent. The likes of Gibbs White, he'll be going on the list as well for me.
For me as well.
For potential ones. So I think 29, it actually gives us the opportunity to get players in that you wouldn't have had all season. you know how like there's been such a template of like, you know, triple Newcastle, triple Arsenal, triple City. There hasn't been much room for those cheap budget enablers, but I think definitely in the coming weeks you're going to start to see a lot more of that. So just good to have in mind, I suppose, going forward. Moving on, we have essentially the main talking point, I think, this week, lads, is KDB to Salah. Obviously, KDB hasn't been in the City squad there tonight for their match against Leipzig due to illness. That puts a huge question mark on his availability for the weekend. So I'd imagine a lot of the consensus is just going to be an easy move to Salah. What do you think, lads? Any of his own De Bruyne yourselves?
Yeah, I did. I've already done the transfer.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that.
Just
trying to get in early before the price rises, is it?
Yeah, I had exact money to do it there today, and I'm pretty sure De Bruyne's going to go down tonight, and Salah's going to go up. So it would have been priced out of it.
Yeah. You're lucky there.
That's fair. No, that's good kind of planning as well, I suppose. I usually like to leave them as late to the deadline as possible, but if you only have that 0.1 million to work with, then definitely.
It backfired on me last game week, so my plan was to bring in Salah, but I just I didn't plan my budget well enough. So De Bruyne out and Salah in last game week was I think I was off by about 0.1 or 0.2 million. So I went for Mahrez instead. So the Salah option now at this stage, the only way I would get him in would probably be by taking a -4. So I'm not sure yet what the plan is.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I'd say more of your worrying is going towards being able to field 11 players rather than getting Salah in as well. So yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I got rid of him 2 weeks ago, so I kind of planned a wee bit ahead of time. Oh my God, Killian made a plan. I know, crazy. I planned ahead of time.
I'm seeing a completely different side of you this year. It's so good.
About getting Salah in, but I had other transfers I wanted to make first. So I got rid of De Bruyne 2 weeks ago and took in Mahrez, and he obviously had a banger of a game week, and of course last week, whatever. But I now have moved everything around, and I think the De Bruyne out was a good choice. Coming down to it now, and even if it wasn't for Salah, I think De Bruyne out for a lot of other players would be a good choice at the moment too, because I don't think he's been as up to speed as he has been in the last while. No. I don't know.
I think
doesn't feel like it.
I think his goal against Arsenal last week was the only goal post World Cup. So yeah, I've been very lucky. I haven't actually owned him through post World Cup at all, so I've been very, very lucky. I haven't been done with a few of his goals because obviously owning Salah and him blanking every week, but De Bruyne is definitely in my good books for now. But yeah, so obviously we're talking about our transfer plans and all this stuff, so we'll just go straight into it and just go from top to bottom here. Patrick, what's your most, if you had, obviously you've done one from De Bruyne to Salah, one transfer. What are you thinking of for the rest of the week now?
Okay, so I did have 2 free transfers, so I've still got 1 left, but I've got 0 in the bank. Oh, you're going to laugh at this, but the plan is I need to downgrade Kane to Nunez for his double.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
And I'm going to upgrade Almiron to Gakpo. So
interesting.
That's 3 Liverpool. Three Liverpool boys from the attack coming in. I worry about Gakpo's minutes, and
I was just about to say the same thing to you. I do worry about Gakpo's minutes. Yeah,
he could get benched for one, but he'll probably come on.
I think he's the most match fit out of all of them. Obviously, Jota's back, but he hasn't started a game yet. So I'd imagine Nunez is probably good or Gakpo is probably good for about 120 minutes.
Yeah,
surely.
Yeah. I think so. He's probably going to play. He's either going to come off at 60 minutes or come on at 60 minutes. So
yeah.
And he's chipping in as well. He's scoring some goals now lately as well, so could be a good shout. Yeah,
I don't know how to feel about it. It would have to be, if I was going to get in Nunez, then I would probably get Gakpo. Or I could avoid getting Nunez altogether. Stick with Kane, who could do something against Chelsea potentially.
Yeah.
And then get someone like Sarabia or what's his face, McNeil. But that's just really boring and dull. And I think there's very little potential upside from them. Whereas Gakpo, on his day, could probably get a couple of goals and an assist. You never know.
Yeah.
It's a tough one with Liverpool. I definitely wouldn't be looking at their defence, but I think that's my plans to get those two boys in.
Very good, very good. Killian, what about yourself? You obviously made that De Bruyne transfer as well. Have you got anything else in the pipeline?
So I have now got my 11 players starting set up. This week I did take -4. I think I've taken -4 every week for the last month.
You need to stop that, Killian. Jesus,
you're staying true to the name. Someone's got to do it.
That's it. But I've been getting returns on them nearly every week. So at the end, when you think about it like that, okay, maybe the risk is a bit worth it. But I did take -4 this week to kind of brush off my team nicely. I did take in Salah for Almiron. I had 7 million in the bank last week, so I took in Salah for Almiron, and awesome. My second one was Share out and Max Kilman in. So kind of sticking with that 2 Wolves, the Wolves defender, and have Neves there obviously as well. But yeah, no, I have 7. I made a whole spiel about not chasing doubles earlier on, but I have 7 players who have doubles this week, and to be honest, I think that I could end up getting close. I want to get close to 100 for once. I think that would just make my day, to be honest, getting past that 100-point mark. But
I'm looking forward to see how this game week 25 plays out for you, Killian, with all your doubles there. It's definitely interesting.
Every player's getting 1 point. 3 of them aren't going to play. What do you see now? Mahrez won't play. That's going to be an irritating one. Okay, they're playing Bournemouth, so
I'd say he will.
We'll see. But like other than the double players that I have Kepa in goals against Spurs. I mean, I would have transferred him out for someone else, but just stick with him as well instead of taking that other minus, because I'm not going to get a return from a keeper. I don't think this week, especially. I think swapping a keeper in for a double game week, I think is really, really risky, because that's 2 games, I know, but it's 2 games where he could just let in however many goals, and you could just end up getting diddly squat, you know.
Well,
you could
also
say the exact same thing for defenders as well.
You could. That's it.
I wouldn't get him in for a hit.
No, but I'm happy enough going into this week now. I think my team is fairly solid. My bench then Rashford, Trippier, and Shaw, so I'm ready to just throw them back in next week too, and start moving some other things about.
Nice.
The head on it.
Very nice. Good stuff. Darren, what about yourself?
Yeah, so unlike Killian, I suppose I'm not doubling up on as many players for the double game week. Don't know how I feel about that. Similarly to Killian, I will have Rashford, Trippier, and Shaw on the bench. So the only player that I have currently who won't be playing in game week 25 is Botman. So Botman probably, I have 1 transfer, so Botman probably will be my transfer out. I currently have 4.7 million in the bank, so that's why I'm probably looking at that more of a maybe expensive defender in Trent. Yeah, look, it's one of them things. Like I honestly have no confidence in Liverpool of keeping clean sheets, to be honest. It's more just the attacking aspect that Trent possibly brings to the fold. So I'd say that'll be it. I have Grealish, Mahrez, Martinelli, Odegaard, and Rashford lined up there in the middle. I still have Kane. Kind of similarly to I think Patrick was saying, I kind of want to get rid of Kane because he's 11.7 at the moment. He's an expensive player, and I don't think he's getting the returns that I kind of expected for him. So if I didn't have Botman to put out, I would maybe consider Kane out for Nunes or a Liverpool striker or someone along the lines of that of a double game week. But I think it's just going to be as simple as Botman out and possibly Trent in.
And you wouldn't even think about taking the risk of the wee -4 with the possibility of it.
I am thinking of it because I do have the 4.7 million in the bank. So if I didn't go for Trent,
how much of that are you talking about including Trent? Is it?
No, I'm saying if I didn't include Trent and go for maybe a more budget friendly defender who's Dublin, like I don't know, an Everton defender or a Wolves defender, then I possibly could look at the midfield. I could go Martinelli for Salah or something like that, but I'm also conscious that Arsenal have a double as well. So look, it's hard to know.
It is.
You just mentioned Kane there. I want to bring up just our chart again to see what Tottenham's situation is. I don't think they're featured on this one, but
I can't see them.
Let's see. Tottenham.
No, they don't.
They don't actually have.
Double.
They don't have a double in 29 by the looks of it.
No.
Which makes me want to go. I'll eventually be getting rid of Kane, so I might just have to get rid of him now.
Boys, I cannot believe we're sitting here talking about Kane out and Nunes in. What has life come to, huh?
No, I think that was only one person who was mentioning that. Everybody else was like,
no. To be fair, I like the move. I like Nunes. I can't help but like him. Even when he was blanking in my own team, I couldn't help but like him because you could tell the goals were coming.
You'd be laughing if you had him in the past 2 weeks.
Well, absolutely. And then sure, he goes and scores against Real Madrid. He scores a beauty of a goal against Real Madrid last night. It was just gorgeous. Salah to Nunes. So hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of that.
Are you taking Kane out this? Have you already done it, or are you going to?
I haven't done it yet. Still thinking of it? That's the plan anyway, to get the three Liverpool attackers. The three Liverpool attackers.
So possibly a -4.
Yeah, -4 to get Gakpo in for Almiron. Almiron's not even playing, so makes sense to.
Will we all do a -4 just for the crack? No,
I am actually on a -4, so
join me.
I think for the -4 pod, we're going to have to do it once this season.
Yeah, well, you know what?
I'll do it too then.
I think once this season, for the last game, right, we should just record what rank we have there and then for the last game, we take a -48 and we just change the whole team.
No.
Moving on.
I have too many leads. But anyways, on my own transfer plans, I suppose there's one that's standing out to me at the minute. It's Luke Shaw to Trent. Have loads of money in the bank to do so. Kind of left that free for when Liverpool eventually doubled. So happy to tap into that now for Shaw to Trent. That will then leave me with. It'll then leave me with about 2.6 million in the bank. So there's a couple of things I could do. I could move Almiron to, a kind of a more expensive midfielder, or I could move my third striker slot, which is Greenwood, to possibly a striker that might double going forward. So I cannot get either James Maddison or Kelechi Iheanacho out of my head for like the last week. So I have the exact money to move Almiron to Maddison if I wanted to, and I also have the money to move.
I'm not sure.
I know it's only single game weeks, but he does double in 29.
Yeah.
And
look at this double in 29. Look at this double in 29 for Leicester.
I'm just looking forward, you know.
I thought he was really poor against United. He looked like he hadn't touched the football in 6 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything up until the United game, I was impressed.
Yeah,
and then
fair enough.
After Rashford scored, the game just kind of went to shit for Leicester, and then it was just hard to put your finger on it. But that is in the back of my mind for now. But for me now, there's only one transfer locked in as it stands: is Shaw to Trent, and then I just need to figure out what to do with. Because I could move Almiron to Maddison, but then again, Almiron does have a double in 29 as well. The smart move would probably be Greenwood to maybe a striker that might double once or twice going forward, but that's only kind of hypothetical for now. But yeah, just the one free transfer for now, and then a -4 to come, but for who, I've no idea. Just going to wait for some team news, and that kind of stuff. So
if you were to
anyways,
go,
thanks.
if you were to go Iheanacho, Aidan, look at this double game week in 29, Villa and Crystal Palace.
Villa and Crystal Palace. Yeah, I'm looking at it here.
Really want him in for that.
It's quite tasty. Yeah. They obviously they have tough enough fixtures, coming up, but there's none of those double game week 25 attackers that I would go for, like Everton, Wolves. They just don't strike me as long-term holds for midfielders and attackers. Because if I'm kind of wanting to pull that wild card in week 33, the players that I bring in now, I'm going to have to stick with them for 8 more weeks. And I really do not fancy playing Dwight McNeil every week for the next 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're completely right.
It's just in the back,
isn't it? Yeah.
In the back of my mind,
Hmm.
But yeah, anyways, thanks lads for your kind of your inputs there. Very valuable in terms of short term and long term planning. So I hope you took something out of that, and I suppose hopefully helps with your planning and for your captaincy choices as well. So I've definitely have mine on Mo Salah as it stands. It's kind of probably a coin toss between himself and Bukayo Saka as well. So before we move on to the trivia, I suppose, lads, captaincy choices. What are you thinking, Patrick?
It's between 2 for me. It's either going to be Salah or Nunez.
Wow, spicy.
The gambler in me wants to go for Nunez. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but that's it. There could be such a swing between the two of them as well. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Killian, what are you thinking?
Kilman. No, I'm joking.
I'll pay you a $5 to do it, Kilman.
We all pay a $5.
I've actually captained Jimenez.
Oh wow!
No,
Not
I
again.
am between Saka and Salah, but I feel like I went out of the way to take Saka or Salah in this week, so I may as well throw it at him. Listen, just hopefully it'll bring out more of a turn than because the two teams have 2 equally kind of balanced games, so it's hard to know.
Yeah, it is extremely hard. By the looks of the polls on social media as well, it's very, very 50-50 between Salah and Saka as well. So we're just kind of all hoping we're on the right side of the coin. Anyway.
Is Saka still on penalties now?
Yeah, he is still on penalties. Same with Salah. Kind of Saka takes a good few set pieces as well, and then Salah's obviously the main guy for set pieces for
Just
Liverpool
on that,
as well.
though,
So.
Aidan, Salah hasn't scored a penalty all year.
How many has he had?
None.
Well, there you go.
None in the league. I don't think.
That's
He did
mad,
score
actually.
2 in the World Cup, didn't he?
Well, there's
The Liverpool fans
not
would
at the World
argue.
Cup, sir.
Would argue.
What?
Would
Saka.
Oh.
I thought you said. Sorry.
All right, Jesus, you scared me there.
No, not he. That's because I know Egypt.
let's edit that out.
Yeah.
Move
Let's
on.
My brain or the video?
bit of both.
Anyway, so I'm going to be surprised with my captain pick. That's not officially locked in, but it's 90% sure. Providing so basically, if I don't bring in Salah, my captain pick this week is going to be Odegaard, and I'm doing that because I
want to.
Because I don't own Saka. That's why.
well, yes, but look, I watched them against who did they beat there? By the
Villa
3-2, and obviously, look, it's not based on that game on its own. Like anything Arsenal have done this season, it's coming through Odegaard. And look, I know he's not probably as likely to score a goal as Saka maybe lately, but I'm going to take a risk. They're playing Leicester and Everton. I feel like if Arsenal hit first against Leicester, it could be there could be a lot of goals, and he could be involved in it. And I mean, I don't know about the Everton game, but definitely the Leicester game. So I think I'm going to go for Odegaard, but I'll see if I can bring Salah into the fold. Things might change then.
Yeah.
So
brilliant.
Odegaard is my captaincy pick.
Very good. Anyways, thanks very much, lads. We'll move on to our final topic of the evening, which is Paddy's trivia round. Paddy, what have you got for us?
Okay, so we've got another guess the player here.
Oh God!
Now
what's
you
his
did so well.
Chicharito.
You did so well last week. I've had to up the difficulty for this one.
I feel like it was extremely lucky that we got away.
No, it wasn't. I knew fine well who it was.
Killian knew straight away.
Killian picked the only Arsenal attacker from the 2010s he knew turned out to be the same guy. It was mad.
It was him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Literally.
Right. So probably try and nail down what is it? Continent and
Is he
then
from Egypt?
continent and then a decade, I suppose. Will we?
Yeah.
Is that what we'll do?
Yeah.
What do we have? 3
We'll go from there.
minutes, Patrick?
You have 3 minutes starting now.
Is he European?
Yes.
Right, that's one.
Did he play in the 2010s?
Yes.
Okay.
Is he?
So we're going to probably try
I
and
was going to say
nail.
Eastern.
Probably.
Let's see. Do we want to try and guess what country he's from? We got the European aspect.
And Europe's a big place.
Yeah, I know that, Killian.
Yeah.
Say Eastern or Western Europe first.
Yeah. Go on. Yeah.
Is it
Yeah, go
Eastern
for that.
European?
No.
No, it's West. Okay.
Okay. So we've got Western
Germany,
European.
Spain.
We'll nail that down. Probably go for position now.
Yeah.
Is this player an attacking player?
Can you rephrase that?
Is he a striker?
No.
So he's a.
He could be a
so
midfielder,
he's
defender, or
midfielder
goalkeeper.
then. No, he's a midfielder then, but not so much of an attacking one.
Yeah, because he made us
Give to
specify.
me.
Aha!
Is that our
So,
fourth question, was it?
That was question number 4.
Do we want to see if he's a winger, maybe?
1 minute gone.
Well, he wouldn't be because that would be attacking. So he's a centre mid.
All right, okay.
You're probably talking, Xabi Alonso, those kind of guys.
Let's see if he's from Spain, I suppose.
Well, sure, no, that's the wrong decade. Right.
I think we need to get a country. Will we guess one of them? There's no
Well,
point.
hold on. What's fucking?
Will we go with deep lying midfielder, and we'll know if he's a CDM?
I would ask a question.
I'd say just try English. Is he English?
Yes.
Right. So we've got an English. Gerrard. No. Yeah.
Was Henderson in that mix?
In the 2010s. Yes.
Yeah. So Gerrard, Henderson.
Okay.
Who else could it be? Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Has this player won the Champions League with Liverpool?
No.
Okay, so it
Right,
was
so it's
later.
not-
It was
it's
later
not-
than
Not Gerrard
Gerrard's
then.
era. So we're talking about 2010s. English centre midfielder.
It could be Lallana either, someone like that. Will we say is this player playing with another Premier League club at the moment? Because
Is
it
he
could
still
be.
in the Premier League. Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, go on. Is the player still in the Premier League?
Yes.
Okay, so he used to play with Liverpool. Centre
What
mid.
question are we on?
I think that was 7.
Okay, so it could be Lallana. It could be Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah.
It could be possibly.
Alex
Could it be?
Chamberlain's more of an attacker.
Could it be John? Did John Joe Shelby come into that bracket?
Yes.
How did we
Okay.
get Liverpool?
It says it in the question.
Oh my God, Killian, you're so dense.
Right. Okay, we're against the clock here. So we have Lallana,
Yeah. you
John
have,
Joe
like,
Shelby
less than a minute.
and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Who else? Milner.
Yeah, Milner could be. Yeah.
Uh,
No, because he's.
no, sorry. Yeah. Will we
not
try?
with Liverpool anymore. So what do we got? We don't want to just go someone with hair. The person
Yeah.
called.
Does this player have hair?
No.
Yes,
John
boys!
Shelby.
Yeah, it is.
Get up
John
them
Joe.
stairs.
Big John Joe.
Get up them stairs. Get up
Boys,
them
we are
stairs.
phenomenal. Look at that.
Wow.
Well done.
That was good.
That
was
was
good.
That was a tough one now.
Boys, my question shouts, did the person have hair or not? Last week it was, is the person left?
Let's guess who strats. Does your person have hair? Does he have
To be
glasses?
fair, to be fair, John Joe Shelby just came into my head.
It
It's
did.
amazing.
No, that was a great shout. Definitely didn't pop into
Like
my
who did
head.
there?
But
Plays
no,
for
geez,
plays for Forest now.
That's two trivias that we've nailed in a row. So
Feeling class now.
Great. And a lot more obscure as well with John Joe Shelby. So fair play.
Good stuff. Good pick, Patrick.
Yeah, no, definitely. Appreciate that, Pat. But lads, great episode. So much information in such a short amount of time. But no, hopefully the people, the listeners, and if you're viewing on YouTube, obviously, have taken something away from it, and hopefully helps your transfer planning going forward. So that just about wraps us up for the podcast. So thanks very much, lads. And yeah, so this game week, obviously tricky to navigate, but make sure you have 11 players playing and just have a view to the future, and best of luck to you. So all the best.
Like and subscribe. Cheers. Slán go fóill.
Slán.
Slán.